Hi everybody, this is Robin live from the Robin's Nest, and for the week ending of July 25th, 2010, with a brand new shirt just for the occasion. It is now time for another Michael's Moments, and I must apologize because I'm going through a little chest cold and it's making my voice sound a little bit different, and I'm really sorry about that. Okay, so for today's Michael's Moments, I'm going to talk about something which I like to call the lady in his life. Now, I've met a lot of different people who are MJ fans over the past 13 months. Some are men, some are women, a lot of women. A chunk of them are in high school, go figure. A lot of them, some of them also grown women. I've met people on YouTube, MySpace, not so much on LiveJournal because I'm not on it that much. A lot on Twitter, and on this other polling site called SodaHead. And I've been asked a lot, what type of girl do I think Michael should have had? Now, we all know that he was married to Lisa Marie Presley for about a couple of years, and that he was married to dermatology assistant Debbie Rowe for about four, which produced two children. And we also know that he had a little blanket through a surrogate mother, unknown surrogate mother. And what I can say about the type of woman that he needed was, I, you know, when it comes to Michael, it's like really hard because as I grew up, when I was little, I was like the average fan. It's like I wanted to meet him and marry him and all that kind of stuff. But when I grew up and I started really looking at him as a person, I felt that he really wasn't one or the other. I couldn't feel that he was either straight or gay. I thought he probably wasn't even neither. He wasn't straight, he wasn't gay, he wasn't bi, he wasn't anything. And now people are saying that he might have been asexual, and who knows, maybe that is true. But nobody can really say because, only he knew. Only he knew what he really wanted. And he did try to lead, a normal life, try to be a husband and father and all that kind of stuff. And it didn't pan out the way he wanted, but he did have a wonderful time raising his children, and his children was really the bright spot in his life. They really were. But as far as the lady in his life goes, I think he needed something that was very different and very rare and something that couldn't be found. And this is what I wrote on SodaHead. Now, I'm not going to go again into the relationship that he had with Lisa Marie and Debbie because I'm not them. I don't know. I cannot say, I cannot judge. Only they knew what was in their heart, and only they knew what he liked and what he felt about them. And it wasn't anybody else's business but theirs. But I do believe that when it came to the woman that he really needed, that could have spent many more years with him, I felt that he needed a woman who was basically a carbon copy of himself. He needed someone who could mother him like his mother, Diana Ross, Liz Taylor, and Liza Minnelli did. She needed to be successful in her own right, like Lisa Marie, and provide him with the children that he wanted, like Debbie did. She needed to be talented like him, or close to it, like the way Janet is. They needed to look compatible together. Now, I'm not saying that looks was an issue. It isn't. It was more or less of, how we felt when we all saw that Anna Nicole Smith married that rich old dude, like back about 10 or 15 years ago. And we kept saying, ooh, they don't go together. Well, yeah, the same thing. He needed somebody who uh, uh, was compatible with him in every single way. I'm not saying that looks is a major part of it, but he needed someone that he could really be comfortable with, that he felt comfortable with in every single way. and that he needed to have a person who was able to stand up to him and say no when he needed it, because I really don't think he had a lot of people in his life that he could trust and who could be honest with him, and he needed to have someone who he could respect enough to that she would say no to him, and that he would still keep her in his life instead of getting rid of her. And finally, I can't stress this enough. She needed to be a tomboy in her own way and share the same interests that he shared. His love of toys and dolls and video games and comic books and graphic novels and kids movies and cartoons and water balloon fights, etc., etc., etc. And today's women really aren't like that. Sorry, ladies, but I gotta call it as I see 'em. Today's women live a fantasy lifestyle of thinking that they're the next Carrie Bradshaw. They're only into shopping and shoes and getting their hair and nails done, getting body waxes, and how much money their boyfriends make and how much money they themselves make, and how much sex they're going to get, and going to the club and drinking mojitos and cosmopolitans. And Michael really wasn't into any of that stuff. And that's what he was surrounded by. He would associate with that kind of stuff when it was required, but it really wasn't him. He was more of a big kid. And if people say that he was a man child, then he needed a woman child. And he needed somebody who was maybe not religious, but at least spiritual in her own way. If she didn't go to church, she had to have at least a strong spiritual side. And she also needed to be the type of person who would be able to take things slow, sexually speaking, because he didn't seem like the type of person who would meet a girl and then like 2, 3 days later jump into bed with this girl and then bam, he's dating her. I mean, he could have if he wanted. He had the swagger to do it, but that wasn't what he was about. He was the take it slow type person. And that's what he needed with a girl. He needed a girl who was very much like him, liked the same things that he liked, could be honest and open and trustworthy, and also take things very slow. And I think that type of woman, and also, of course, be very compatible with him in every single aspect of his life. And I think that girl was very, very rare. It's not a girl that you find. You don't find anybody who's like that. And I think he tried. I think he looked for her. But I don't think he ever found her. And that's pretty sad when you think about it. Hopefully, maybe on the other side he already has. Maybe he's met that special girl already, or maybe he's looking down on the earth and he sees a girl that he never had a chance to meet before while on earth, and maybe he's watching over her. Who knows? It's just that while he was here, he never found the one. And that's really sad when you think about it. Oh well. Just my thoughts, just my opinion. And if anybody ever had a question about that, there's your answer, at least from my point of view. And I'm going to wrap this up and go back to taking care of my cold. And this is Robin, live from the Robin's Nest, again saying, smile, even though your heart is aching. Bye.